grow. Who really real? Tell me how you really feel. Keep it Uncle Phil. Do you kill like a Navy SEAL? Rolling off a pill, very trill. You ain't got a deal. Do you really steal? Rob the stove.
Yo. Oh. My fault. Okay, I'm here now. Sorry, I was just computing absolutely nothing. Anyways, what is up? What up, man? I ain't even about to do all that today. Like, I was finna start getting mad. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Jermaine Holt / J. Lou, player development success guru, student athlete success advocate, all for athlete engagement to ensure that all athletes are equipped with what they need to transition out of athletics and into adulthood, or also optimize their athletic experience while they still have the gift of being an athlete. Y'all already know me. Y'all know the goal. Y'all know the channel. I just stated it very briefly right there. That's called a mission statement. Can I get it? I'm just playing. But nonetheless, what's up, y'all? I hope that you guys have been having a great week. I hope that this content has been adding significant value to you along your journey, whether it is something that is identifiable for you or something that you kind of take in passively, like, you know, I'm going to take this for where I'm going. Nonetheless, I hope it has been valuable and impactful, right, along your journey, my fellow athletes and retirees, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell y'all specifically what my objective is today, okay? It's going to be a little bit synonymous. It's going to kind of piggyback off what we had a discussion about last week when it comes to NIL and the transfer portal. Right, that was a discussion that we had last week. This week, though, we're going to hone a little bit more on the transfer portal. And before y'all label me as a pessimistic person that's going to say, now you about to tell us everything wrong with the transfer portal with your traditional minded self, and you go tell us that we shouldn't transfer, we should just stick and stay and develop. No, I'm not going to do that. I might be thinking it, but I ain't going to say it. My objective for today is to ensure that you are armed and equipped with as much information you need to make the right decision. Okay, so I am going to act as a resource of research to ensure that you are going to make the right decision, the best decision. Okay, that's going to be my primary objective for today. I'm here to ensure that you can manage the opportunity of the transfer portal properly, simply because the transfer portal is what I consider a directional decision. Okay, and a directional decision has a lot to do with the destination, aka where you end up. And where you end up has a lot to do with your quality of life. Therefore, if I can help you increase the quality of your directional decisions, I can also correspondingly increase the quality of your life. That means that if I can impact a decision you make today, I can help you create a better tomorrow. And for a channel that is literally created to help you build a foundational future, obviously, anything that can contribute to building a better and brighter future for you, I'm going to make sure I allocate effort to. You understand what I'm talking about? So, okay, in order for us to make a good quality decision, we got to associate, or we have to be able to assess the risk associated with the decision. Okay, so I'm going to tell y'all the risks of going into the transfer portal, and I'm not going to do this with the intention to deter you. Okay, I'm not trying to deter you from entering the transfer portal or utilizing the transfer portal. I'm just trying to make sure that you are armed and equipped with as much information as possible so that you make the best decision for you, okay? I want you to ensure that you make the best decision that aligns with your mission, vision, and values athletically, spiritually, emotionally, and individually, all right? I ain't gonna give you opinions. I'm gonna go straight numbers. I'm gonna give you straight stats. Here's stat number one. 50% of athletes that enter into the transfer portal do not end up enrolled in another NCAA institution that following year. That's the numbers. That ain't my opinion. Now, an even more staggering number, 60% of athletes that enter into the transfer portal end up at a level that is below the level they were once at, right? So if it's a Power 5 school, or maybe even a D1 AA, 60% of athletes that enter into that portal, depending on the timing and the needs of a program, there's a very real possibility that you can end up at a level below the level you were originally at. Now, here's the perspective I have, though. If this is a level that is more conducive to optimizing your performance, is a system that's going to better support your vision, values, and goals, then that's not bad, okay? But if you believe in the fact that sometimes a higher level of competition produces higher level of performance, then you might not want to go to a level that's below. right? So if you hit the transfer portal, it's a 60% chance that something undesirable happens. Now, sidebar, just because something happens that's undesirable does not mean something is happening that's bad. Undesirable sometimes don't mean bad, it simply just means undesirable. Some of us don't want storms, but we benefit from storms. Most of us don't want adversity, but we benefit from adversity. Is adversity undesirable? Yes. Are storms undesirable? Yes. Is pain undesirable? Yes. That don't mean it's bad. So just because something transpires in your life that is undesirable, do not mislabel it as bad. Because if you mislabel a good thing as a bad thing, you're going to mismanage it and you won't get the most out of it. All right? If you end up at a level that's below, you better manage your opportunity properly. You don't know what potential that place has. Which leads me to my next little sidebar point. The transfer portal is a place that is full of opportunity. That does not mean it guarantees success. Just because something has the potential to be successful does not make success guaranteed. And you're going to be diligent and intentional with the potential of an opportunity to ensure that it worked for you. Now, here's more that I want you to take into consideration as part of your research to make the right decision, right? 50% of athletes don't land a home the following year. 60% end up at a level that's below. Here's another thing to take into consideration. Transferability. Okay, what am I talking about? In order to remain eligible in the NCAA, a certain amount of your courses that coincide with your degree plan got to transfer over to that institution. And I know some coaches might sit over here and say, yeah, it'll transfer over, it'll be fine. Fam, I ain't even gonna lie to you. As an athlete that's a retiree, coaches is not the office of admissions. Coaches do not work in compliance. So there are some things that they can tell you, and they will be sitting over there looking at you crazy when you sit over in this office trying to figure out what you about to do because you might be dealing with some ineligibility. Do your research and see how transferable you are to the institution you would like to transfer to. Okay? Do your due diligence. Don't just take their word for it. Their job is to optimize performance. Them folks is not experts in compliance. You know what? Never mind. Love my coaches. God bless. But, okay, how seamless can this transition be? And last thing, training system. I want you to be able to understand that some training systems do produce great performances, but it's going to be on you to ensure that this place is adaptable to you. Because not every training system works for everybody, okay? So you got to take that into consideration. I know the system work. Is it going to work for me? And most times you're not going to know beyond a shadow of a doubt if it's true or not. So sometimes you're going to have to make a decision by faith and bet on yourself and hope for the best. But at least think about it on the front end, okay? The biggest thing I want us to be able to do is when we're making high quality decisions, it makes us more proactive and less reactive, okay? A decision made proactively is much higher quality than a decision made reactively. Because you want to know what you got when you make a proactive decision? Time to consider. You know what you don't have when you make a reactive decision? Time to consider. And so when you are experiencing the emotions of anxiety and uncertainty, that might cloud your judgment when you are in a reactive space. So sometimes it's much easier to take things into consideration when you're not on the clock by being proactive. Bro, I want y'all to understand that most times I'm giving y'all life principles. Yes, this is going to help you collegiately. This is going to help you collegially and athletically, but dog, this is going to help you individually, personally and professionally, spiritually and emotionally, okay? So if you ever watch this, like this might not be for me just because of the subject area, dog, I'm a communicator. Subject area is literally transferable to, it's like, dog, you can apply these principles. They're principles. Now that we have assessed the risks, okay, I didn't want to talk too much about the risks though. I ain't even gonna fake it. If it don't work out, am I willing to work through that? Ask yourself that question on the front end so you don't walk around over here complaining and blaming God for decisions that you made. All right. Anyways, anywho, y'all know I do a lot of research, do a lot of reading, right? But I realized that a key way for me to do some good research this week, I said, how about I just talk to the audience? Which sidebar means whenever I'm making videos, if y'all want to be a part of the audience that helps me do my research, DM me. So I can actually tailor content specifically to what you want to hear and what you need to hear. Understand what I'm talking about? But anywho, I engage specifically with the audience. I talk to athletes that transferred. And I talked to athletes that thought about transferring that decided to stay. And I started to ask them questions. Why? Now, when I was asking them the question as to why, they was giving me some pretty patterned answers. See, I was asking athletes, even though some of them was long-winded, love you anyway, but I was asking these questions. And my specific intention behind asking the questions was I was trying to find some consistencies. I was trying to see, is there a common reason as to why most athletes decide to transfer? And I found one. The number one common reason as to why athletes decide to hit that transfer portal, in most cases, support. Once an athlete feels like a system of training is not in support of their visions, goals, and values, they're going to feel prompted to go to a new environment that is more conducive to what they're trying to do. So when they feel like, so these, and a lack of support comes from three different facets: coaching staff, coaching style, and working environment. When the athlete is able to assess and interpret the actions of the coaching staff, the style of the coach, and the environment that they are working in consistently, and they can adequately come to the conclusion, this is not in alignment with my visions, goals, and values, they feel prompted to now leave that environment. And that's just the reality. I'm not even gonna lie. Now, first off, another sidebar, y'all know me, gotta do them. I want us to be able to understand that sometimes something might not be desirable, but it might align with your visions and values. And sometimes you gotta be able to understand that your short-term desires cannot supersede your long-term vision. That just because the coach got on your nerves or you had a bad performance, that does not mean you need to come to the conclusion that something ain't working for you. But oftentimes, your longer-term vision might better be serviced if you actually decide to endure the discomfort of a developmental process. I ain't even gonna fake it. Me as an athlete and a lot of other athletes, dog, I just want you to know, you ain't gotta like something for it to work for you. Okay? Now, I ain't just talking about athletics. I'm talking about life. You ain't got to like something in order for it to be doing good for you. It can feel bad, but it can still be doing good. And sometimes you got to get out your feelings and stop allowing your feelings to act as your GPS, and let your feelings be fuel, and let your values, your vision, and the goals be the GPS. And say, look, emotions and feelings, y'all gonna have to get behind me for a second. You can't grab this steering wheel. My visions, goals, and values has to do that. There's so many people that will say, I don't want to be close by them because I don't like them. Dog, their system of training is working for you though. You ain't gotta be their best friend, but do you perform in that system? In life, hey man, I ain't gonna lie. Some management, you ain't gotta like that management. Are you in an environment that's developing you? Are you being equipped with adequate skills that's going to ensure that you can be successful in life? That sometimes something supporting you ain't gonna feel good to you. Sometimes the best way for something to support you is to create conditions that will reveal internal conditions on the inside of you that need to be changed so that you can be better. So sometimes somebody coaching style or leadership style might reveal to you, you ain't got no thick skin and you take criticism too personal. And you ain't gonna grow if you always taking criticism too personal. So maybe this individual is uniquely designed to do something a specific way to ensure that you can develop. Let me go back practical, because y'all finna activate preaching me. I ain't trying to preach, all right? That's another thing, okay? I don't do that for free. Anywho, but I want to talk about support, okay? Why? Because when I talk to athletes, they told me something. They said most of the time I would start to feel like I'm not supported the second I either experience injury or I'm underperforming. I'm gonna give y'all some perspective with this episode. Watch this. Most athletes, they say, hey, I don't feel supported when I experience injury. Coaches ain't checking in on me. And they seem like all they want me to do is get better so that I can actually do good for the program. Right? They don't seem like they actually care for me. They just care about what I can do. And I get exposed to this reality when I get injured or when I underperform and the coach's attitude towards me changes. They stop giving me as much time and attention. Now I feel like they don't support me. Let me help y'all out. Sometimes I want you to be able to understand that a lot of what happens when an athlete does not feel like a coaching staff or coaching style or environment supports them. A lot of times, the reason why athletes want to leave is it's not the feeling of not being supported that bother them. It's the fact that they had an expectation to be treated a certain way, and they're dealing with some disappointment that's enduring because these conditions ain't changing. But a lot of the expectation that was created to be treated a certain way in a coaching environment as an athlete literally stemmed from the conversation they was having with the same coaches when they was trying to recruit them. I want you to be able to understand who this coach is when they're trying to retain you is different from who this coach is when he's trying to train you. How the coach talk to you when they trying to retain you is different when they're trying to train you. How they treat you is different when they're trying to retain you versus when they're trying to train you. See, because when they're trying to retain you, the coach's priority is your presence. When they're trying to train you, the coach's priority is your performance. And so now, of course, the dialogue is going to become different. The interactions are going to get a little bit altered simply because the priority of this person has changed. That's the first point. The second point is you got to recognize that this is a coach that is dealing with multiple people and multiple personalities and juggling multiple priorities. All right? And you got to realize it's a lot of y'all and a few of them. Some programs are what I consider understaffed simply because, hey, sometimes you don't have the budget. You don't have the budget to get bandwidth. I ain't even gonna fake it. That's just the reality of life sometimes. It is what it is. You got to make do with what you got. But that simply means that sometimes you got to look at the job description of a coach. And you got to ask yourself the question, when I don't feel supported by the coach, did I set an expectation for a coach to do something that is beyond their job description? Now, do some coaches go above and beyond and do what is above and beyond their job description for some athletes? Yes, they do. Does it seem like favoritism? Yes, it does. But I'm going to tell you why it happens so that you can perceive it properly. Hey, fam, you might have potential, but the person that is getting a majority of this coach's time, they're more than just potential. They are producing. Now, the job of the coach is to do what is in his job description. That is what will create job security that will ensure the survival of him and his family, because he or she probably got mouths to feed or a house to contribute to. So, when they're starting to evaluate this person's impact on the program, they're not going to be looking at potential. They're going to be looking at what's produced. Bonuses, pay structure is contingent upon not the invisible potential that you might possess, but the production. And so now a coach is going to allocate his time based upon what's producing to ensure that they can continue to survive. So this favoritism that you feeling you ain't getting, even though you got it in high school and middle school, but now you ain't getting it in college because you not just one of them ones, but everybody in your environment was one of them ones. But now that you're not getting the same treatment, that favoritism that you're feeling is the coach trying to survive, fam. It ain't personal. It's not that they don't like you, but it's business at the end of the day. Now, once again, are there coaches that go above and beyond what is in that job description? Yes, they do, and we love them for it. I still got the numbers of my coaches that went above and beyond. I love them. I still talk to them, right? They rock with me. I rock with them. As a matter of fact, some of them is gonna be booking me to go talk to some of their programs. I already know it, and it's gonna be amazing because I'm gonna be telling them stories about how they used to light me up. It's gonna be great. But nonetheless, I speak that by faith. But nonetheless, you can't experience disappointment unless you set an expectation, and so you gotta evaluate what caused you to create the expectation. The job of the coach ain't to make you feel good, it's to make you good. And sometimes you gotta have a lot of days where you don't feel good in order for you to be good. And so if you're governed by feelings Athletics in college just ain't gonna be for you. I'm sorry. And if you're governed by feelings, being successful in life just ain't gonna be for you. Because if you're always after what's gonna make you feel good, I promise you, sometimes you're gonna have to feel bad and feel terrible in order for you to be good. So you can either sometimes feel good or be good, but you can't get both. That's not just the reality of athletics. It's the reality of life, okay? But once again, I still don't want to undermine or diminish the emotions that you might be feeling. It don't feel good to not feel supported. It don't feel good to feel like the coach is not giving you the time that you need to develop. And if you decide that is what's happening and it is now becoming inconducive to what you're overall trying to do, they made a transfer portal for that. I understand. But I'm just saying, evaluate your reasoning before you make this decision to ensure that it's actually the right decision. If you were to lock in and begin producing, where you're no longer leaning on potential, but you actually just lock in, put your head down, work hard, and begin producing, you're probably going to begin to assume a certain type of attention. Coach would be dumb not to give it to you if you're producing. Secondly, it's a big one. We will easily blame the training for our lack of performance. If we're not performing well, if we're not doing good, we say it's the training system. It's the lack of opportunity. It's the style. If it's football and I'm an offensive player, it's the coaching style. It's the offensive scheme that's limiting my opportunities, so I can't shine, right? So I can't perform. Basketball, same thing. It's our play style. It's our scheme. It's something systematic that's not being done, that's not ensuring I can be successful in this system, right? We see it all the time in athletics. It's the system. Now, this is what I want to tell you as a sidebar. I've said it before, but I want you to know, so long as it's somebody else's fault, you ain't gonna grow. So long as it is always somebody else's fault as to why something is not happening in your life that you have a desire to have happen. So long as that's somebody else's fault, you ain't gonna grow. You won't grow, you won't learn, you will not adapt, you will not adjust, and you will not overall become. So long as it is somebody else's fault. So long as it's the training system's fault, coach not liking you, boss not liking you, leader not liking you, so long as it's somebody else's fault and somebody is just out to get you, you won't grow. I just want you to be able to understand, victims don't grow. Victims don't progress. Victims don't adapt. Because they're too busy hoping that the external changes instead of allowing the external to alter the internal. Let me move. Because I gotta ask the question now. Is it the fact that the training system doesn't work? Or does the training system not work for you because you're too busy working against the training system when you get to the weekend? Is the work not working for you? Or are you too busy working against the work when the weekend hit, and then you come to the conclusion when you underperform or you don't get results that this ain't working? Is it that it don't work? Or it just can't coexist with your extracurricular horizontal activities, released in all these. My bad. That's my bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I ain't mean to say that. I ain't mean to say that. Okay, forgive me. Okay, I ain't even mean to be all up in y'all business. Y'all grown. I'm not judging. Okay, y'all know my stance. Y'all know my stance, and if you don't, I'm waiting till marriage, so I don't partake in any horizontal activities. But I ain't got nothing against the people that do. I rock with you. God bless. But I'm just saying, are there habits that you have that work against the work that you're claiming does not work? Is it the training system, or is it the fact that you're drinking and smoking on the weekend and drinking all this detox and taking all these detox pills to ensure that you can pass your drug test? Is it the training system that don't work, or is it the fact that you're only sleeping for 3 or 4 hours a day? Is it the training system that don't work, or is it your inconsistent sleep schedule that's not making it work? Because at this point, is it bad coaching or a lack of discipline? Is it bad coaching or a lack of self-control? Like, is the coaching style really the problem? Or does the coaching style not work well with your attitude that you didn't have ever since you was 5 and no one ever checked it? But now you're running into a wall where you can either become somebody different and become somebody better or leave and stay the same. I'm just asking, before we say that something ain't working for us, are we really evaluating our life and lifestyle, belief systems and behaviors and saying, am I working against me before I claim that something ain't working for me? I'll even give y'all a practical example. Even in life now, I can sit over here, man, spiritually, my development is being hindered because of the oppressive pastors that I serve under. No, fam, you prideful and you arrogant and you think that you're smarter than everybody. So can't nobody tell you nothing. So your lack of progression is not a product of them being oppressive. You just not coachable. The thing working against some of us is the fact that we got very incapable ears, but a very overcompensating mouth. You see, I had to put we, because I was finna just start going in on myself. Okay, this is my internal talk, and I'm not finna, I'm talking, me ain't finna talk to me like that, okay? So y'all gonna be included in this conversation. We in this thing together. Jermaine, you ain't finna talk to Lou like that. Lord, stop, okay? I'm in the middle of something. Why are you doing that? I don't even be doing nothing. It's a Thursday. I'm doing my own thing. God be doing too much sometimes. That was not necessary for me to say at all. And it's gonna be a specific set of people that's gonna see this and be like, tell them. Whatever. Anyways, are we working against ourselves? And that's the reason why the work ain't working. Before we decide, this ain't working for me, so I'm gonna hit the transfer portal, okay? This is the last one. I promise I'm gonna get out your face, out your space, and out your business, okay? I just want us to ensure that we're going to make high quality decisions because we evaluate them properly, because we ask ourselves the right questions. Because I'm a firm believer that the information you need to change your tomorrow is on the other side of a question you need to ask today. Ooh, I'll be coming with them one-liners, baby. I need to put that on a t-shirt. Come on now. Slap myself on the booty. Anyways, so extra, like, what? Bro, I'm crazy, okay? Just a little bit. Everybody got to be a little bit unhinged. Never mind. Anyway, this is my last thing. Matter of fact, wait, sidebar, okay? Because I also got to be able to acknowledge some people are extremely talented, okay? Because I know some people might say, Jermaine, I know so-and-so that drink and smoke every day and be having women coming out his door like a revolving door. I don't even understand how they don't see one another and don't know one another. Yet and still, this person will literally get to the place of competition and perform at such an elite level like they did not just get done doing what they got done doing. And I ain't even gonna lie to you. This is the harsh reality of life. Some people got it, some people don't. Some people can get away with doing that. Some people have the talent level that literally can supersede the fact that they are a liability to themselves. And in most cases, they got that level of physical talent because they ain't got it up here. Like, y'all don't understand. Like, it's saving their life that they that talented. Because they don't think. Like, bro, at this point, I'm just being honest. Some people need to be that cold at athletics. Get to a certain level financially. And please just make sure that they manage their finances properly because they got a good system of people around them. Like, some people got a certain talent level that just displays a certain amount of grace. Like, this is life preservation talent at this point, because if they didn't have what they was doing athletically, oh my goodness, ooh, where would they be? You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, some people can get away with that. But when you are really trying to be great and operate in excellence, stop trying to find what you can do and still be able to perform. Stop trying to find ways to try to outweigh working for you and working against you. Just work for you. Just do what work for you. Now, lastly, like I said, most people believe when they hit the transfer portal that the grass is greener on the other side. Now, because of the conditions I just talked about, 50% of people don't get picked up. That grass don't seem greener. 60% end up at a lower level. That grass don't seem greener. Some people are not transferable because now they become ineligible because classes ain't transferring over. That grass ain't greener. Some people are not compatible with the new system of training and they don't adapt well. That grass ain't greener. Now, are there stories where we see it work out for some people? Yes. But for every story you see that it don't work out, there's a percentage of people where it didn't. Sometimes that grass ain't greener for everybody. Okay? And I know that you think that you're going to be the exception, and I hope to God that you are. But there's also a possibility from a percentage perspective that you won't be. Sometimes you need to endure. okay? Because I had the same thought process. I'll give you an example, okay? I was at the University of Houston. I'm injured, and I'm watching other athletes that's going crazy. I'm watching A&M, they going crazy. I'm watching Florida, they going crazy. I'm watching LSU, they going crazy. And I'm thinking to myself, man, maybe I need to transfer to one of them schools. But I had to realize something. As I look back at my life retrospectively, I had to realize something. I'm spectating somebody else's fruit, not their process. So I'm in pursuit of what's produced, but I'm not taking into account process. Like, I had to realize that grass did not begin green, but the right people had to water it and manage it and maximize it in order for it to become that which it is. And so sometimes a lot of us are chasing results in other places and spaces instead of staying in the process that can produce those results. Because when it comes to processes, I really do believe this in my heart. I really do believe that there are specific spaces that are uniquely designed and divinely ordained to ensure that more of you gets worked out of you and more of God gets in you. Okay? I understand, coach, get on my nerves. This system don't work well. I don't like this style. I don't like this staff. I don't like this and I don't like that. And I guarantee you, the second you believe that you don't like something, your brain is going to act as a filtration system that finds nothing but evidence of what you don't like. And you will create a negative experience for yourself at a place that really ain't that bad. That sometimes the place ain't that bad, but you keep filtering your perspective on everything because of what you believe. So sometimes the thing that needs to change is not the place, but your belief system. I'm talking right now. But as a matter of fact, some places are uniquely designed and divinely ordained to work certain things out of you, to be able to work some good things in you. That sometimes that coaching style that you claim ain't working for you, the only reason it ain't working for you is because your lack of discipline keeps becoming a problem in this place. And so you can actually be successful in this place if you would actually get disciplined. That sometimes the reason why you cannot coexist in this system is because your lack of self-control keeps showing up in the system. And you have no idea that this system is uniquely designed and divinely ordained to work your lack of self-control out of you and work more self-control in you. Then when you have a coach that calls you out and is trying to literally give you work that's going to work bad out of you, you keep sitting over here, and what you are symbolically saying is, coach, F this system, forget you. God, I don't trust what it is that you're trying to do because I don't want to change. That some of us literally would rather stay comfortable instead of become. There's some people right now, whether it's a transfer portal, whether it's going to a new place, new space, new relationship, new environment, athletically or individually, some of us quite literally are only doing this simply because we don't want to change. And the thing that needs to change about us keeps showing up and it becomes a problem, and we do not have the wherewithal to understand, oh, this is a place that is supposed to alter my state of being, but I can either become or be comfortable, but I can't get both. But let me go ahead and give y'all some longer term perspective, because once again, that showed up in my life, in my athletic journey. I had a collegiate career that was riddled with injuries, and I kept blaming the coaching system. And every time I would blame the coaching system, I wasn't learning the lesson. So I'm experiencing injuries, and I'm blaming the person blowing the whistle and telling me to get to the line, when in reality it's because I'm not listening. Because I'm doing my college workout, and then I'm doing my own workout. And then I got this sports hernia and this stress fracture in my hip, popping 2,000 milligrams of ibuprofen, sniffing all this ammonium just to ensure that I can sprint for 45 seconds at a track meet, running on all these zero gravity treadmills and all these pool workouts. I'm putting myself through this stupid process simply because I wasn't learning the lesson of rest. I wasn't learning the lesson of sometimes it's better to be intentional instead of active. Intentionality incorporates rest. Activity doesn't. But if you always got to be doing something in order to be progressing, you always going to overwork yourself and run yourself into the ground. And now that I'm in a different stage of life as an adult, and I'm balancing between ministry, corporate America, entrepreneurship, content creating, I'm potentially going to be somebody's spouse, and I'm trying to prepare for that. I'm trying to nurture relationships platonically and romantically. And I'm sitting over here with limited capacity. And now I'm realizing that it was life preservative for me to painfully learn the lesson of rest. Now, did me learning the lesson of rest cost me athletically? Yes, it did. And I had to be able to sit with the idea that God would rather me be disappointed in one season than dead in another, because I literally overworked myself completely. Because in order for me to incorporate rest, I have to understand that I got a limited amount of capacity and time. So now I learn how to delegate, where it's like, okay, Jermaine, you got a lot to do, and you got a lot of good relationships. So now you know how to ask for help. But I want you to be able to understand that my quality of life today was determined by lessons I had to learn in my athletic life. So long as my overworked, ambitious attitude and belief turned into a behavior, it kept running me into the same problem until I would learn, you gotta rest. So I cannot help but to think that there are certain situations, coachability, self-control, discipline, time management, I'm telling you, whatever lesson you're avoiding learning in athletics, it's going to show back up in adulthood. That whatever you're running from is going to reappear. Therefore, sometimes you got to ask yourself the question, why, not just why am I leaving? What am I leaving? And where am I going? Because sometimes the thing that you're leaving is the thing that you need, which is the lesson. And sometimes where you are going is out of the classroom meant to teach you certain principles and into the place where you can remain comfortable and stagnant. So once again, that's my tidbit. I want to make sure that I honor time. So that's my tidbit. That's my conclusion. Like I said, I'm not here to talk against the transfer portal to deter you from going into the transfer portal, but I want to ensure that you are equipped with data, perspective, and information that will help you to make the most informed decision possible that will increase the quality of your decisions and the quality of your life. Now, without further ado, y'all already know me. It's your boy, J. Lou, 3 to the 1 to the 4. But before I even say that, y'all already know, with the content that I'm continuing to tailor toward what it is that y'all want to hear, what it is that y'all want to know, what it is that you need to see, make sure that you DM your boy. If you got questions, comments, or concerns, let your boy know. Interact, engage. I would love to be able to continue to have conversations with y'all. I hope that y'all like having conversations with me and my little goofy self. But nonetheless, it's going to help me understand how I can best use my gift to be of service to y'all. So feel free to reach out. Without further ado, it's your boy J. Lou, 3 to the 1 to the 4, and I'm outie 5 to the 30.